Tammy's in our video blog today. She's my barista. I'm gonna get the scone.
Okay.
And I'm gonna get a vanilla latte 12 ounce.
Vanilla latte, 12 ounce. Okay.
Now, one objection I get from people when we talk about cell phone videos is they'll say, Nick, aren't you worried that it doesn't look too professional? And I go, nope, I don't care. In fact, I don't want it to look professional. I mean, I might do some simple tricks like put text here, or maybe even here, but that's just because I like to do it. It's fun, but for the most part, nobody really cares about professional videos. It's all in your mind. All you really need to worry about is that you are delivering a really good, authentic human experience. Oh, I almost got hit by that car. So there's really only a couple requirements when you use your cell phone to shoot video, like I'm doing right here. And that's that you make your picture like this, horizontal. I have my camera turned horizontal because it's widescreen. It's got the right, what's called aspect ratio. I think that it's just the better way to shoot video. It's a much more pleasurable viewing experience. I can't find my keys. All right, we're live. What's going on, IAOA? Nicholas Ayers. I'm here at home. This is my home office. I thought I would do something a little bit different. And so we're shooting this from my little den here. It's pretty easy. I don't know if we can, I'll show you guys around a little bit. So we'll take this off. There's very nothing here. There's nothing on the walls. You know, I have some lights, closet right there, window, another light right there. Pretty basic stuff. I just like it. I'm a minimalist here. Got two screens, one here, big old screens. This is what we do from home. This is how I get stuff done on the weekends. I do a lot of IAOA stuff here at home at night so that it doesn't really, I try not to make it interfere too much with what goes on during the day. This is what we do at night for a hobby. Put a post out yesterday, 23 hours ago, actually. And the post was this. I'll put it right here on the screen. Post says, you know what would be really cool if Nick made a insert custom template here for the files tab and we can all use it. Essentially, look, IAOA is built on the premise of selflessness, innovation, collaboration. Selflessness and collaboration are two huge components. So really, if I have something that I could share, that I could give, that is going to help somebody else, I'm all for it. My original thought was to make, some sort of editable PDF or to do something, but I asked you guys to tell me what you wanted, and it started out with an overwhelming majority. Most people wanted a step-by-step video guide on how to use Adobe Premiere. So I could do that. That's simple. I do video editing a lot every day. I'm in Adobe Premiere every single day. In fact, I made this video today. Today was a fun day, actually. Today was my son Hendrix's second birthday. He turned 2 today.
Oh.
It's your birthday.
Yeah. Oh.
It's Sunday, so started off, went we did Hendrix's Presence. We went to church. I play the drums. Try to tear it up as best as I can. What else did we do? Oh, then my mom came over. So this is my mom, and my mom, after 4 years, actually after like 11 years, after 4 years though, my mom finally became a customer of mine.
Well, you finally had something to offer that I could use. So.
You sound like my wife.
Oh, weirdo.
Yeah, I know. We did Hendrix's Presence. Just all in all, a good day, and it rained like crazy here. A lot of lightning, a lot of thunder. There's a lot of lightning and thunder. This is insane. This is ridiculous. It's June 11th, and it's raining and hailing. It's pouring rain. I'm in shorts and flip-flops. You know, because it's June. In June of all times of the year, it rained. Just really, really unique situation. So, anyways, that's what we did today. It was a lot of fun. Been doing video, like I said, for about a little over 2 decades now, and I'm in it every day and making something, doing something. So a lot of it just comes as second nature to me. So I'm going to share my screen here. I'm going to show you some things. And first, one thing that people always want to know is they want to know, Nick, what kind of camera do you use? What is your camera of choice? I tell people the camera of choice is the camera that's closest to you. I'll show you. Let me take this off.
Darling, you send me, I know you.
I like these headphones. These headphones are really, really cool. So the camera that I use when I'm in the office, when we talk about camera of choice, this is the camera of choice when I'm at the office. So this comes in a couple different pieces. There are different things that do different pieces that do different things. Here's the camera. This is a Canon T5i. Now, the reason I use a Canon T5i is simple. It's small. It's effective. I can get in close to shots and, do all the cool stuff. I could focus. I could do everything. It's relatively inexpensive. It's about $400 to $500. They make nicer versions of this now than when I bought it. It has an LCD screen that's touch screen, so I can do all my settings on an LCD screen, which is pretty nifty. It's got all the settings that I would need, but a lot of times I leave it on, auto control, or you can do autofocus right here. I do a lot of shooting with video on my camera. It's easy. I use an Android. It is simple. A lot of people think that, when you shoot video, you have to be, J.J. Abrams or Steven Spielberg or somebody doing this. And I've said this a lot. You guys have heard me say this a lot. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You don't have to use fancy lights. You don't have to use fancy cameras. You just have to make it a real human experience for the viewer. That's all you need. Authenticity, authenticity, authenticity. It always trumps polish. So that's my encouragement. Now, you guys came in for the good stuff. So let's show a little bit of Adobe Premiere. I'm going to show you guys some navigation, and I'm going to show you how this works. So this is Adobe Premiere. I open it up, and this is what I get. This is the interface for Adobe Premiere. Why do I use Adobe Premiere? I use Adobe Premiere because it is the best. Seriously, it's what Adobe has really made themselves the go-to in the creative world. For all things creative, Adobe is the platform to use. It's a massive, massive company. They have every single product that you can want from a creative standpoint. Adobe Premiere is their video editing software. It's used in Hollywood. It's used in studios. It's used in small businesses. It's the editing program of choice. There's other options out there, but this is the best. I'm a little biased. You can buy Adobe Premiere. It's a monthly subscription. That's how Adobe gets the most amount of money out of you. You can buy the whole Adobe suite. So you have access to all of their programs from Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator, Premiere, After Effects, Adobe Acrobat Pro. You get all their programs, and there's a lot, for $50 a month. If you want to buy Adobe Premiere by itself, it's $20 a month. So one program for $20 or all their programs for $50. Kind of a no-brainer. So this is what it looks like. Let's take you through some really basic navigation. I'm going to show you guys how to do a green screen video. Really simple. So you want to look here at the navigation. You have File, Edit, Clip, Sequence, and I'm going to try to go slow here. Good thing about this recording is you can watch it again. Marker, title, blah, blah, blah. Here you have a couple different windows. You have your effects control. This will all make sense here momentarily. You have illuminatory scopes. You have, kind of your library here. You have ways to think of this as like another file, kind of navigation tab. You have panels, assembly, editing, color, effects, audio, titles, libraries, etc. So this will all make sense in just a moment. If I go File, Import, or Control-I, or Command-I, you are going to import a new file. I'm going to import a couple files here. So let's import these files here. I'm going to hold down Shift, and I'm just going to select the things that I want. Yep, there we go. So I brought in a couple different clips. I have 2 video clips. I have BG, which for my purposes is background, and I have some music. Now, let's just take one of these clips. I'm gonna click and hold, and I'm just going to drag it to this timeline. Now things start to make a little bit more sense. That's Lisa, and that's how Lisa looks at me all the time. It's a blend of disgust and intrigue, but that's Lisa. Lisa works in our office. She handles claims. She is a bulldog, and I mean that in the most affectionate, best way possible. If I simply take this and I drag it, I can go frame by frame. I can go as fast as I can. I can scrub this. Right? Here you have V1 and A1. Simply put, this is video 1, audio 1. You want to think of Premiere as this timeline as a layering tool. So when we begin to work on this and create the green screen aspect of it, you're going to kind of see how this makes sense. But you have video 1, video 2, video 3, audio 1, 2, and 3. I can add more layers if I wanted to. It just defaults at 3. And they're always linked. So if I move this, you see her audio, naturally we think that her audio would want to move with the video, so it is all one file. I can unlink these if I wanted to and do that, but I don't need to do that. So here's this clip. Now, I want to make this a green screen. I want to take out this green that's in the background. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I have it on video 1 here. I'm going to make this on video 2. Video 2. And the audio stays on audio 1. Now, I'm going to take this clip, background, and I'm simply going to drag it here. Again, think of it in terms of layers. When you are doing a green screen, you obviously want your subject to be on top of the layer. You want the background to be just that, a background. So I put this underneath. I can make it shorter or longer if I have other things to put back there simply by clicking and holding the end here. So I have 3 things. I have video 1, I have the subject, the background, and the audio. Now let's make the green disappear. If I go to the right here, you're going to see effects. I'm going to click on that. The name of the filter or the effect that I want to use is called Ultra Key. I'll put that on the screen here, Ultra Key. If I just type in Ultra Key, it's going to find it. See, even if I get to ULT, I'm going to click and hold. I'm going to drag it onto my clip because that's the clip I want to make go away. So now, if you look over here on the effects controls, it's put Ultra key right here. Very simple. It automatically defaults to want to get rid of the black. Well, I don't want to get rid of black. I want to get rid of the green. So if I take this eyedropper tool here, I'm going to get as close as I possibly can to Lisa. Oh, look at that. Like it was meant to be. Now, you'll see here, I was an idiot, and when I shot it, I have some of this stuff in the background. I have my clips, I have the back wall. You can kind of see some stuff, and you can even see some of the folds in the green screen. Well, I don't want those there. So let's clean this up a little bit. I have my green selected. We're good. Under Ultra key, you see this drop down. It has a few other things here. I want to go to Matte Cleanup. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the contrast and I'm just going to kind of scoot that all the way to the right. You see how it kind of takes, see how there? Yeah, boom, 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 boom. To the left, to the right. Cleans it up. Just kind of evens out some of the color a little bit. However, I still have this over to the right. So I need to take that out. This is a really good example of a clip to use because sometimes this happens. So I'm going to use another effect. I'm going to look at crop. Crop, when I click and drag it over here, now it's going to allow me to crop different things out of this clip. So I'm going to minimize Ultra key because I'm really much good with that. I'm going to minimize all of this here a little bit. I'm just going to leave crop here. And I'm going to take this pen tool. I can either do a circle, a square, or a custom one. And I'm going to use the custom one. And I'm just going to draw a little box around here. See these blue lines? That's kind of creating a box. I'm even going to click and hold it. I'm just going to drag it all the way down so that I'm not missing anything. She's in this box. So now it's created what's called a mask. I'm going to, and all you have to do is copy these same steps on your clips. I'm going to go to this here on this drop down and I'm going to click inverted. And then I'm going to, oh, you know what I did? I accidentally did 2 masks. This is what happens when you do it live. I did 3. I'm an idiot. Let me redo this here. I apologize, guys. Let's just draw another quick box. Let's make it this way. I'm going to take it out of the picture here because I don't want to cut any of her off. I just want to cut this stuff off. I'm going to do inverted. And then I'm just going to take any one of these and just drag it all the way. I just selected left and drag it out of the way. So when I do inverted, see if I don't do inverted, what happens is it takes out everything in the box that I created. There goes Lisa. Bam, gone. But if I invert it, now it's taking out everything that's outside of the box, like so. So now I have Lisa behind this, or in front of this background. Aha, but look what I did. If you didn't notice that, you see here, her finger's cut off. So what I could do is I could go back into crop. I could just select this mask, and then I can just, ooh. There's a reason why I didn't use this clip in real life. And this is why. This is probably one that I reshot just for this purpose. But I can kind of, you know, I can make these go however I want to do. Look at that. Bye, Lisa. So I'm going to take a little bit of time here. I'm just going to clean this up. The best I can. That's taking 5 seconds to do it, but you get the idea. Now, people say, well, that's great, but what about some other aspects like music or different shots or different cuts? Again, all working here on the effects controls. I can simply take this and let's just let this play through a little bit. She does a good job. Let's just stop it there. So now I want to move the camera and I want to do something a little bit different with Lisa. Let's say I want to either move her around or add something to the video. I'm going to go right here and I'm going to go to my razor blade. And I'm going to hit my my plus button on my keyboard. That lets plus and minus lets me zoom in and out. I'm going to go into the frame. And now I have 2 clips. It evenly separates out the video and the audio. Now I have 2 different files here, but the settings all say the same as far as crop and on the Ultra key. So now I'm going to take this clip and I'm going to come back to the controls, and you see where it says motion, it defaults to this position and it works on an XY axis. So think of up and down, left and right. So if I want to move her around, let's just say I want to move her here. Got her here. So now so you see how she moves there just so slightly. And again, this will look different on your clips when you move characters around. My personal thought is I want to create some movement every few seconds. It's just good if I move my people around, if I do different things on screen, because then that's going to keep the eye moving, which is going to keep the brain engaged. These are just little tips and tricks that you can utilize. So I've moved her around. Let's think, okay, well, now I want to fill this space here. What if I did something? What if I put some text right there? Easy. I'm going to go to File. I'm going to go to New. I'm going to go to Title. It's going to default to the settings that are already in the video. It's going to bring this up. Now, hopefully this interface makes a little bit of sense to you. It's easy enough. T for text, on similar to a lot of other applications. I'm going to click anywhere on there and I'm just going to put Lisa is cool, because she is. Man, I hope you guys can hear what she's saying too on the video. It's really awesome. I'm going to use my default font, which is Gotham. I like Gotham. It's one of my favorite fonts. It's a pretty rad font. And let's go medium. Now, defaults to white. Nah, I don't want to do white, so let's just come here and change the color. Under fill, I'm going to change it to, let's do our color of orange. Just pick any orange there. And let's make it a little bit bigger. And you know what? I'm going to go bold, because we're bold. So that's it. That's a simple title. There's no effects. Now it simply puts it into my library here. So if I, again, click and drag it, put it on the timeline, I want it to be on top of, again, thinking in layers, I want it to be on top. I don't want it to be behind anything. See, if I put it behind, just as, see how it's behind her here? Because if you look on my timeline, it's underneath. I don't want that. If I put it below, it's back on top. I come here, I just simply move it left and right. I can do up and down. Let's do it here. Lisa is cool. And let's say I want to do a little bit of animation with it. So now I go to video transitions. Let's do one of my favorite ones, which is wipe. So I just click and drag to the beginning. I can even make it a little bit faster of a transition by shortening it up. I'm going to do the exact same thing here on the end because I want it to wipe in and I want it to wipe out. So this is, and let's put it right over here, a little bit off of the cut. So this is what this looks like when it runs. I can make it a longer title, so it still shows up as long as I want it to be. I can even do it again with something else. Another one that I really like is push. Make it a little bit bigger. Yeah. You want your titles to be a little bit longer, maybe 6 to 7 seconds, because you want to give people the opportunity to read them. So that's a pretty simple thing. Now, I can cut that as many times as I want. I can move her up and down, left and right. The only thing I recommend when positioning your person on screen is if you look at how I have her, for the most part, she's in the middle. Again, that could be fixed in editing. And this is actually not a very good example of it, but I usually want to give her just a little bit of headspace here. See how it's cutting off her head? I don't really like that. This clip actually didn't get used. This was a junk clip. Let's say though, I want to keep her head about right there. Here's what I see a lot of people do is they'll shoot and they'll be on the green screen and they'll be like down here, like this. And they got all this headspace and it just looks wonky. So go ahead and fill up that screen a little bit. Don't be afraid to just be, right there. Again, you want the attention to be on the subject, and the best way to do that is to make sure they're positioned properly in the frame. So now let's say I want to add a little bit of music to this. I already have a music file that I've put in. I'm going to put it by holding and dragging it. I'm going to drop it right down here to audio 2. Let me zoom out just a little bit. My clip is, it kind of ends right there. You can see with the sound waves. It's 2 minutes and 41 seconds. It's too long. So, and it defaults at playing at its normal audio level. Its volume is at 0, it's at an even 0 dB. It's too loud. I don't want it to be distracting and taking away from what Lisa's saying. So if I click on it, it's going to bring up again the effects controls for this particular clip. I'm going to unselect this box. I don't like how it defaults. It's one thing I don't like about Premiere. It's a little quirky thing. These stopwatches are always selected by default. What that does is it says it's going to do it for just a certain keyframe or a certain particular key to a certain particular time. I want it on the entire clip. All you have to worry about is to unselect this for what we're doing. And I'm going to do -15. Negative means it's going to turn, essentially we're turning this down. It's still a little loud if you ask me. So I'm going to go a little bit quieter. I'm going to do -18. So now, again, it's more subtle. The emphasis is still on Lisa talking. And I'm just going to drag this here, and I'm going to make it go to the end here because I can cut that short. But what happens is you have a loud song and all of a sudden it just cuts. So that's not really good. So if I'm going to zoom in a little bit here, I'm going to go to audio effects. You know what? No, I'm not going to go to audio effects. I apologize. I'm going to audio transitions. There's only one, crossfade. And you can really pick either one. I like to do exponential. I'm going to put it down to the end. I can even drag it over a little bit. This is going to let it fade down as the video ends. Now, that's a very simple way of doing it. I've spent a little bit more detail. When people are doing videos, their first couple of videos take a lot of time. You don't have to, they don't take me a lot of time as much anymore just because I've done it so much. I could just, like muscle memory, go in, out, bam, 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 done, done, done. It's quick, it's simple, it's an easy process. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything. Oh, let's export the video. Now this is an ugly video, but this is just a test, But I want it to get out of Premiere, and I want it to be a video file that I could use on Facebook, on YouTube, Wistia, Vimeo, wherever I'm hosting video. I'm going to go, and let's just assume this is done. It's ugly, keep in mind, but it has the elements. It has Lisa, who I haven't color corrected, but she's just there. It has my background. It has a title. It has some background music. So let's just pretend that this is a really pretty video. I'm going to go to File. I'm going to go to Export. I'm going to export it out of Premiere. I'm naturally exporting the entire media. Brings up this settings panel. I already have defaults selected, but when you look here at format, you have a lot of different formats. I can do it as a lot of these things. You don't need to worry about a lot of them, really any of them. You want to export it as H.264. H.264 is the codec, the video codec. I'm going to get a little technical here. It's the video codec that is used to properly interpret the video, that makes it in a more universal format for, it turns it into a universal format. Think of like a JPEG for pictures. This is going to turn this video into a M, as in Michael, MP4 video file. You have JPEG, you have PNG files, you have PDFs. MP4 is a video format that's a real universal format in today's day and age. So I have that selected. It defaults to how I have my sequence already set up. This is think of this these are pixels, 1920 wide by 1080 height. You might recognize 1080 as when you go to Best Buy and you buy a TV and it's 1080i or 1080p if you don't have a 4K TV. This is standard HD format. So this is the size of HD video, 1920 wide, 1080 high. I'm not, for the sake of what we're doing here, I'm not going to mess too much with this, but the frame rate is fine. Everything is fine. I'm going to select render at maximum depth. This is just a quality thing. I want it to render. I want it to take its time and render out a good video. I don't need it to go too fast and miss some quality. All this is good. You don't need to worry about it. This is fine. Use maximum render quality. Let's name it here by selecting this blue name. And let's go IAOA test. See here, it saves it as an MP4 video file. This works on YouTube. It works on Facebook. It works on every video hosting platform. It's the universal format. Save. It tells me that it's going to be an estimated 62 megabytes. Video files are big. They're large. That's why it's good to host them on other things like YouTube or Wistia or Vimeo or Facebook or wherever. You don't need to put them directly in an email or on your website because they take up a lot of space. And then I'm going to hit export. And there we go. It's exporting this bad boy out. I'm going to let you see this again for just a second. So that's really it. That's how you do a basic green screen setup. Now, a couple things on your green screen. If you're going to use a green screen, you can buy them online on Amazon for, you can get your green screen set up with lights and all that for probably a couple $100, maybe a little bit less depending on what you get. You can also find green screen paint if you got a regular wall and you can just paint the wall. You want to get a 3-point lighting kit if you can. You want to put 2 lights facing the subject in the background. You want, good illumination Not a lot of shadows, not this 5 o'clock shadow that you see me got here at, going on my house. You want another light that kind of hits the background. You want a nice universal color on the screen. So if you're looking at the screen on video, it's easy to see hot spots. You just see where the light hits it. It makes it brighter and some parts are darker. You want to try to eliminate that as much as possible. You want a nice even color. You want to, if you can steam your screen to get the wrinkles out, great. If you can use clamps to tighten it, you don't want a lot of wrinkles. You don't want any creases because that's going to change the color on screen when shadows and things hit it. So you want to make sure you have a nice universal color. You want it to be a nice bright color, something that is going to be much different than anything you find in clothing or skin tone. And then you're going to have a really good video. You're going to want to make sure you utilize a good microphone when you're shooting video. Do not use video that is not mic'd properly. I am more concerned, I think most people are more concerned with audio quality than video quality. I'll watch a video that has really poor video quality or not the best video quality, but man, if it's got really bad audio, I don't want to listen to that thing, and I just turn it off quick. So make sure you're lit properly. It's going to give you good color. Hopefully you have a decent enough camera if you're doing green screen video that's going to pick up the natural skin tones and everything else is going good so that you don't have to color correct it too much. That's one thing we didn't get too far into because I didn't want to lose you. I just wanted to simplify this process. And make sure your video's low so that the attention's on the subject. That's really it. If you guys have any questions, let me know. This has been a fun thing. I think I'm going to do this more often, something like this. So if we can think of more things that you guys want to go over, if you guys want to go over more Adobe Premiere stuff, if you want to go in more in-depth stuff, or if you want to hit Photoshop or Illustrator or InDesign or Acrobat or any of those things, that's fine. Now, here's one thing I will say. A lot of people will say, Nick, I don't want to worry about any of that. I just want to hire somebody to do it. Great. Perfect. I have no issue with that whatsoever. Just make sure they're good. Make sure they're consistent. But if you're saying I want to do it myself, these are the tools you're going to need. So it takes a little bit of time before you like anything else, you know how to get through your management system. You know how to get through your Rater. You know how to go through your companies online. You know where things are going because you've done it numerous times. It's like muscle memory. You just know how to hit it. Same thing is with this stuff. When you're working in Premiere, when you're working in Photoshop, when you're working in InDesign, man, the more you do it, the easier things get, the easier it is to think of different things and processes to think, okay, I need this to do this, so I need to do this. It's just all good stuff. You guys have a fantastic day. Have a fantastic night. I don't mind if you share this with anybody. Doesn't matter to me. There's nothing here that I did that was secretive. So you guys have a good one. IAOA, better together. You guys take care.
And I see y'all on your phones when I'm pulling up next to you, maybe at a stoplight or just getting close to you, sort of on the freeway, and I see you guys on your phones. Not our customers, I don't know. I hope not. But I sometimes see you guys, and I see you guys pretend for a second that you're just driving like this. And then as soon as you think I can't see you anymore, and I'm not even a cop, it's like, who are you pretending for? Like, let's all not do this. Don't be on your phones when you're driving, please. It's the worst cause. It's like the #1 cause of accidents lately. People are not paying attention, they're rear-ending people. And then the people are getting hurt, and then that car's hitting another car. Next thing you know, you don't even have enough coverage to pay for everything, and they're taking your house, and they're taking everything. You need an umbrella. That's all I got. That's all. I don't know.
I love it.